lit.
What's going on? How you doing? TK coming at you, and this video is for my future because my son is my future, and I feel like one day he's gonna be able to see my videos and hopefully learn something. So I don't really care who else listens, but I'm putting this out as a cosmic seed in order to express some things to my future. And I think in the 44 years that I've been on this planet, I've evolved, and my evolution has progressed me to the point where my understanding is different, and I have something to give. I have something that I can pass on to my son. And I think back on my own life, I wasn't very receptive to my father in relation to what he had to give, because he had a different approach towards teaching. My father was a more direct, forceful approach, and I kind of just rebelled against that. So I'm taking a different approach with my son. I don't want to repeat cycles, and I just hope that my son is receptive to information that I have to give, because not everybody evolves. Some people experience life, but they don't learn from the life experiences that they go through, and they repeat the same cycles without consciousness raising. You know, we live in a society where people are dumbed down and comfortable with not being conscious or not progressing mentally or even learning the applicable lessons from the cycles that they go through. Repeat the same cycles, make the same mistakes, and then justify those mistakes in simplicity and mediocrity and complete bullshit when it comes to listening to them. So I'm at the point in my life right now where I have failed enough times where now I want something different. I want to see different results. I would like to implement and strategically move so that I'm not in the same place a year from now. And I think the biggest lessons that we're not giving keys, we're not giving tools, and then we wonder why we don't have access. We don't understand the fundamental rules of the game. So as a chess piece, we're not playing the game effectively, and then we complain about our lack of results. So the first thing I think that you have to understand, speaking to my son in the future, is that the financial system is a chessboard. It's a game. And in order to move effectively through the system, you have to play within the rules. So the first rule, I would say, is discipline, self-control, and not falling into the trap of worshiping currency. You know, too many people are miseducated about currency, and then they worship it as if it's an entity, or they give it more power than it deserves. The foundational understanding to fiat currency is that it is a tool. Fiat currency is a tool to provide you with access. So you don't worship the tool. You use the tool to provide you with access, and you use the tool in your tool belt whenever it's needed in order to open doors. But you never get to the misunderstanding or the miseducation standpoint where you worship the tool and you focus on acquiring more tools, or you focus on just spending tools. In other words, fiat currency is nothing but a means to provide you access. And a lot of people can't seem to grasp that concept because of their miseducation. And people don't evolve mentally in terms of learning and adapting. You know, you're set up with the wrong tools. You know, you're using a flathead when you should be using a Phillips. And then you're complaining that the screw is not coming loose. So understanding that everything is credit. The only thing that's considered and always has been considered money is gold and silver. So everything else is credit. If you can fundamentally understand that credit is interchangeable with fiat currency, they're both interchangeable. They're all credit. One is from a private corporation, one is from a governmental corporation, but they're both credit. So you have to utilize credit in a manner in which benefits you for access, and show discipline in the rules of the credit game. Only using 50% of your available limit. Actually zeroing out your credit cards as often as possible. Using one in exchange for the other. And operating in a standpoint where you're saving. Those are the two biggest things people can't do. They can't implement discipline under the 50% rule with their credit available balance. They can't zero out cards frequently, and they can't save on a consistent basis so that you are planting seeds for your future. Save or save the grains in plentiful time so that in a time of need, boom, you have it. So when we talk about savings, I'm not just referring to playing checkers where you stack fiat currency in your savings account. I'm also referring to saving effectively in terms of converting some of your fiat currency into gold, into silver, into Bitcoin, and being able to transition fiat currency from a liability into an asset, to be able to focus on accumulating assets that appreciate over time and be able to pull into that when you need it. That also includes buying land, buying real estate, rental property, because you want an asset that pays you outside of a 9-to-5 and something that appreciates as opposed to depreciating liabilities. Fiat currency is a depreciating liability that will never have the same spending power today at the longer you hold it. So you have to get that. You have to understand the fundamental principles of the commercial contract game. Everything within commerce is a commercial contract, and your construct or your construct and your participation is a chess piece. So understand that to weave in and out of these contracts, you have to position yourself. And that's the main thing that I'm hopefully can pass on to you, is that exercise discipline, position yourself, know how to save, know how to play the credit card game, understand that everything is credit except for gold and silver, and then accumulate appreciating assets. Establish everything that you do in a private trust. Operate in trust so that your assets are protected in the commercial contracts, the public commercial contracts. So those are the foundations that I hope that you begin to understand. Gold, silver, Bitcoin, commercial contracts protected through a private trust, operating, understanding that everything is credit, using fiat and credit interchangeably, and of course saving and appreciating assets, accumulating gold, silver, real estate, Bitcoin, getting to the point where you don't operate the way these dummies operate in the world. Separate yourself effectively by understanding what other people don't understand. This is for the future. This is for my seed. And when you see this on YouTube one day, just know that my intents were in the right place.